Alrighty, hello ladies and gents, and welcome to episode 30 of my Blackburn Rovers Football Manager 2017 Career Mode. God, that's becoming a mouthful, isn't it? Right, so obviously the first episode of the season was the 1-0 win against Fulham. We also, because of how quick the first half went in the Fulham game, we also wanted to show Watford, but like an idiot for the second time, I forgot to unmute my mic, but we did win that game 3-0 after making some tweaks. We then faced Leeds United in the second round of the EFL Cup. Steven Gerrard is currently their manager, and they are bottom of the Sky Bet Championship. And yeah, even though they've not been in good form, to be fair, they played pretty well against us. Even though right now it's kind of difficult to tell whether it's Leeds that played well against us or whether we've been playing quite poorly. Claudio popped up in the 87th minute, once again with one of his trademark strikes, I believe it was, to just about get us the winner. And to be fair, it was kind of a blessing in disguise that he did get us the winner. We were just about the better team. We definitely deserved to win things, but the fact that Leeds United went down to 10 men in the 39th minute was kind of disappointing that we couldn't put the game to bed earlier. Andre picked the ball up, who came in off the bench, and there we go. Good shot from Cadura, doing what he does best, and that's why, of course, we signed him last season. But yeah, I really didn't want to go into extra time and penalties because it just would have knackered some of my players. But then we went away at Villa Park. We beat newly promoted Aston Villa 3-1. To be fair to Aston Villa, they actually played pretty well. So it does put us second in the Premier League. However, I've not been happy with our performances, despite the fact that obviously, well, we've scored a few goals against Watford and Villa, but I've not been happy with our performances, and I'm really not sure what the rest of the season has to hold. Maybe I'm being negative, but we'll have to wait and see. Performances have got to improve still, in my opinion, but hopefully they will. It's just not great at the moment because not everyone. We made a lot of signings in the summer, so there's a lack of tactical familiarity going on at the moment. But yeah, we have Man United at home coming up next at Ewood Park, obviously at home, and then we've got Spurs away. Now, Spurs are going to be at their new White Hart Lane, 61,000 capacity, newly built. I think they probably use their Champions League money on building that new stadium because they obviously won the Champions League 2 seasons ago. And yeah, 2 very, very difficult games. I think we're going to lose both, to be honest, even though we spent quite a bit of money in the summer. I mean, I say quite a bit of money in the summer, but when you consider the fact that Man United probably spent our entire budget on one player in the summer, it says a lot. Mkhitaryan is out, and he's quite an important player for them. For us, Asidi, obviously someone who played really well for us in pre-season, a new signing. He played pretty well in our first few games of the season as well. He, unfortunately, is now going to be out for 4 months. My luck with injuries continues, I guess, and that's not really great because he's 30 years old, and when players get injured this late on in their career, it doesn't often look good. Also, one more thing. Remember that German youngster, Mike Beinert, who I said if we work on him well, he might just about be able to, become a Premier League player in the future. Well, he's broke his leg, out for basically half a season, 4 to 5 months, and that's not good, really. His acceleration dropped, his physicals have all dropped, which you'd expect with him now breaking his leg. But he's only 17, he might be 18 by the time he's back. We'll just have to see what happens, but the fact that he's got 9 determination could very well mean that he might not develop maybe as well as we probably thought he would. In terms of what happened on deadline day, we end up signing Nano, bringing him to the club, 23 years old, instead of Bernardi, I think he was called, the Argentinian lad. Simply because we couldn't secure a work permit. In terms of players that left us, Luke Gilmore left us for Gillingham, out on loan. Tyus Browning left on deadline day to Championship side Birmingham. I think they've got a clause to buy him at any time during the deal as well, which is pretty good for us because, to be fair, we want to get rid of him. And Lee Wallace as well has left us on loan to Sheffield United. Now, we signed him last season in our first season back in the Premier League because he looked like decent backup for Augustinson, but Augustinson was basically fit all season, so we didn't really need to use Wallace. And when it came to registering players, I needed to register Nano, and we'd already registered 25 players, so it was Lee Wallace that had to basically take the hit. So, 37 million spent overall this summer, 4.4 million brought in, which roughly means, you know, we've spent around 33 million pounds this summer, which really, like I said, it seems like a lot of money for a team like Blackburn Rovers, but in reality it's not really that much money in terms of when you consider PSG was spending 60, 70 plus million on single players. Other players were bringing in Luciano Frontini, defensive midfielder from Po Vercelli, 17 years old, Italian, looks like a gem of a player, can also play centre-back, and we can probably trade him to play centre mid, right mid or whatever as well in the future. Downside is he's only right-footed, but in terms of being a defensive midfielder, strength ain't too bad for a 17-year-old. Good stamina, good work rate. Positioning could be better. Half decent determination. 18 bravery, which is good. And he's got really good tackling and marking. It's just a shame he's not better in the air. But we'll develop him and see what comes of him. In terms of how much we paid for him, 1.5 million really. 750k initial fee. 300 grand over 48 months. And the rest of these clauses are basically dependent on things like international appearances, so we've not really paid 1.5 million for him. We've roughly paid $1 million for this kid, and with him being 17, I think we'll definitely at least make our money back, and he's going to be on little to no money per week anyways. Another player, Zelko Ilic, he's a Bosnian central midfielder as well. Looks like a player that could develop into something quite nice, playmaker-wise. Not very big, probably not suited to the English game, but we've got to see what we can make of him. 16 passing already. We'll have to see how he develops. 18 determination, which is always good. And physically, he's not too bad either. Technically, quite good. I'm not really scared to take cheap punts on regens that look like they have potential, because chances are the amount of money you'll gain from selling on an amazing regen will trump any money you'll lose on a regen that might not make it, like that German kid who just broke his leg. Especially this lad, like, you look at this guy, and for me, I think this guy could easily walk into any championship side. And we've just signed him for 54k, so yeah, great signing, really. Beat Meyer, interesting name, Beat Meyer. This guy looks amazing for a 17-year-old. Brilliant physicals, really good technically as well. We're trying to sign him, but unfortunately he does play for FC Zurich, that are a pretty decent club, and they're basically not letting him go for like less than 20 million, which is understandable. We have our eye on him though, so, you know, if we can maybe piss him off in the next transfer window or make him, you know, stick in a cheeky transfer request, we might be able to get him pretty cheap. And another player we are bringing in is Livo Nagel. And if you're wondering why all of a sudden I'm going crazy on the regens, well, as you know, we brought in a heck of a load of new scouts, and they're suggesting them to me, and that's, you know, why you want to grow your scouting team and so forth, because you can never have enough regens. In my opinion, this lad looks really good as well. 17 years old, Swiss. We've paid 2.4 million for him, 1 million initial fee, 600k over 48 months. So really only about 1.6 million rather than 2.4. Depends whether or not he ends up playing at an international level. If he ever does develop to become good enough for the Swiss national team, the extra 400, 500k and end up paying will be a bargain, really. Shame that he's quite one-footed, only left-footed, 170 centimetres, but got decent strength, so not too bad, really. English-wise, could be better in the air. Decent passing, really good technique, good vision as well, so another playmaker-style player. We'll just have to bring him in, really, and see how he develops. Now, at the moment, we don't really utilise playmakers as it is, but going forward, especially if our performances remain as crap as they currently are, you're probably listening to me thinking, what the hell have we run 4 in a row? Stop moaning. But if performances do stay quite poor, we may have to change things up tactically and start using playmakers. So these guys in the future may very well become an essential part of our team. Next game coming up, as you know, Man United, Mourinho's Man United. To be honest, out of these 2 games, I'll be more than happy with a point out of a potential 6. Spurs, I believe, still have Pochettino in charge. A really good side are Spurs. Always difficult to play against in Football Manager. Same for Mourinho's Man United. And we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, the good thing about Mourinho's Man United is we've faced him so much. We know exactly how they're going to play. He's going to line up the 4-4-1-1. We're going to tell Tiote, our defensive mid, to try and man mark Mata, because most of their attacks will come through Mata, and we'll basically set our fullbacks to defend. But we'll take a look at that once we're in the game. So we're in 2nd, they're in 6th, but it's not even the end of September yet. Let's go to Ewood Park and see what happens. Welcome to Ewood Park for quite a big game very early on in the season. Blackburn against Man United. So yeah, tactically, the good old 4-4-2, the tweaked version, of course. No offside trap, normal defensive line. Get stuck in is now on, of course, and we're playing a little bit more direct than what we used to. We're playing with an attacking mentality, even though it is Manchester United, because I always find it gets us a little bit more urgency in the final third and help support our two strikers a little bit more. In terms of whether or not, you know, I want to keep this up tactically, I really do want to try and switch to a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. At least next season. It depends how this season goes, because at the moment I feel like we're playing more direct and more like an underdog style team, which isn't really in my head how I see us. But we'll have to wait and see, because our results really will dictate that. Even though our aims this season is still to stay up in the Premier League for some reason, according to the board and the media. So I doubt I'll be losing my job anytime soon, which is good, because it means that the videos will keep on coming, the save will keep on coming. Cheick Tiote is going to be man-marking their playmaker in Juan Mata. And our fullbacks are both going to be set to defensive, simply because Man United are going to be attacking down the wings. There's no doubt about that. Bernardeschi and Rashford, loads of pace on them. In terms of the midfield, we've gone with Kadura and Tiote. Karambe. Ooh. Karambe, really good technically, but still has a lot of familiarity to try and catch up with. And yeah, we're up against a very physical Manchester United team. So for that reason, I think Kadura will be a better fit. But all we can really do now from this point onwards is just jump into the game, see what happens, and work our way in. I think we are going to get somewhat outnumbered in the middle of the park, but as long as Tiote can keep Mata quiet, I'm not really too worried. Jason Steele keeps his spot in goal, even though we made a new goalkeeper signing, of course. Main reason for that is the new goalkeeper signing. Even though on paper the new goalkeeper is a much better goalkeeper than Jason Steele himself, Jason Steele seems to be performing quite well at the moment, so that's the reason why we're going to be keeping him in goal. But here we go, free kick from Fabio. What a terrible free kick, and Man United now can counter-attack. I cannot emphasize how much this happens this year on the match engine. Like, where your player gets the ball in the middle of the park, stands around, right, like an idiot. He's got a million passing options and then just gets tackled like that. Or he's got a million easy passing options and then ends up bloody passing it to the opposition team. It bloody pisses me off. Like, what even was the point of that free kick? Corner coming in, De Gea's caught it. Now Man United are going to try once again and counter-attack us. And this is really, we're starting to see signs of this attacking mentality starting to hurt us. Need to win this ball in the air, which we do. Gillas to Gray, who looks for a pass, who finds Kadura, who finds Gouffran. Gouffran now looking for an option, finds it in the ex-Newcastle man in Cheick Tiote. Andre Gray to Tiote to Gouffran, who shoots and scores. See you later, alligator. Johan Gouffran with his second goal of the season. What a goal. I spoke about players in midfield turning around like idiots, but that was a strike and a half. I think on paper, David De Gea maybe should have done better, but a goal is a goal nonetheless. And now we need to tighten up. See if we can see out the first half. Unless Kadura can make it 2-0, which he can! Yes! Get in there! 2-0! 2-0! Love beating Mourinho. Love it! Mainly because Mourinho's probably my favourite manager. And he's a proper dick to me in the game. Proper dick. You can see me there. See that? Beautiful. 2-0. Yes! We said we put Kadura in because he'd offer more legwork than Karambe. Can we just call him Karambe? Fuck it. Let's just call him Kerembe. Kerembe. We know what it means, okay? Or actually, can we put a hashtag in his nickname? Hashtag Dicks out for Kerembe. Right, we'll stick with that. Dicks out for Kerembe. But anyways, let's focus now to our team talk. We'll calmly tell them, don't let your performance levels drop. Gouffran's pissed off, but I couldn't care less. We've also gone with Byram out on the right because he offers us a little bit more defensively. And obviously, the reason why I told my fullbacks not to overlap or to stay on defensive is because we want to try and make sure Man United, you know, it's Mourinho's Man United, they're going to be playing on the counter-attack anyway, so it's important for us really to make sure we try and keep a solid bank of four at the back at all times. Otherwise, they have the players with the pace to really exploit any gaps that we might leave behind. But in terms of defensive now, I'm actually going to move to standard. We're going to reduce our passing directness. We're going to drop our tempo a little bit and go from there. You know, just try and frustrate Man United a little bit more than towards 60th, 65th minute. That's where we'll make a little bit more significant changes. But so far, so good. Man United not really doing much. And so far, the changes that we really made have really paid dividends. They're starting to get a little bit frustrated. Jason Steele has to come off by the looks of things. Thank God we've actually got a goalkeeper on the bench. So Rajkovic is finally going to make his debut. And I think around 65th, 66th minute, we'll make some changes now. Man United with only 39% of possession, so they're really starting to struggle now. In terms of what changes we want to make, Dario Dumic is starting to look a little bit knackered, so we'll bring on Thomas Callas, which is actually a very good idea as well. I'll drop him to cover. The reason why I want to do that, did that really significantly hinder our familiarity then, just doing that? I didn't think it was that significant of a change, or am I imagining things? Right, I think I'm imagining things, but yeah. So we're going to bring on Thomas Callas. I think it was that put me off. Sorry, I'm going on tangents here. So we're going to stick Thomas Callas on. The reason why I brought Callas in is because unlike the rest of our other centre-backs, this guy's actually got a lot of pace on him. 17 pace, 15 acceleration. Drop him back as cover, which means he sits slightly deeper than the rest of the defenders. And given that Man United have Antoine Griezmann up front, a very pacey player who's going to really be looking to try and take advantage of our tiring defence, Callas will just inject that little bit more energy into our lineup. Other changes I'll probably make right now, or want to make going forwards, I'll probably take... actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring on the experience of Danny Graham instead of Nabil Gillas, and yeah, go from there. I know I was moaning about performances a few minutes ago, but to be fair, we've played pretty okay here. Knowing my luck now, the second I say we played... How did no one pick that up? Jesus Christ, give me a break. How did no one pick that up? See, that's what really frustrates me. I feel like as a manager, there's not much you can do about this, and a lot of the goals we concede is because of things like this. Where's our left back? Why is Augustinsson here? So, I don't know if this is like an instance where the game glitches out or something. All the United players are there, yet we're all over here. Griezmann comes in and just plays that pass to Januzaj. It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. How do you explain this? How do you explain that? I mean, you know, probably could have done something to stop Lucas Lima, but it's more in terms of how that even became a thing in the first place. Drop that much lower. Be more disciplined. And bloody run the clock down, for the love of God. It's a completely different game now that it's 2-1 because of that. Fortunately, United ain't been able to really grab the ball, so switch to contain, and that should really be all 3 points for us, as long as there's no Fergie time. But, yeah, sorry about that outburst, but I'm just really sick of seeing us concede stupid goals. Stupid goals that stem from stupid misplaced passes in midfield and stupid things like that. Good performance, especially with the underdogs. Yes, that was a good performance. It's really special, lads. Well done. Don't want them to get, you know, over themselves, but let's just try and keep our heads in the game for now. Rajkovic, kind of disappointed that he was basically on for like 2 minutes and then conceded. But maybe if Jason Steele's injury is quite bad, yep, he's out. Yeah, he's broken his finger then. So it at least now gives Rajkovic a time to shine, right? It gives him a chance to get some Premier League action under his belt. And who knows what Steele's form will be like by the time that he's back. But... yeah, so we've got Spurs next, and I'll see you there. Right, here we are at the new White Hart Lane. Nice to see that Daniel Levy's being creative. Oh, tactically. Oh, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? Yeah, it's Spurs. So, 4-2-3-1. It's really important that we keep both Dele Alli and Eriksen, as well as Kane, quiet. So I feel like maybe, just for now, beefing up here in the middle of the park might help us. We'll see how things develop. Could have moved Gouffran behind the front three, but instead, Augustinson's going to be on support, so he's kind of, I wouldn't say on his own, but yeah, he's up, well, yeah, on his own. But because he's got Akpan on his side, hopefully it won't hurt us too much. Fabio as well will be on defensive, like he was against Man United. And we'll just see what happens. Andre Gray as well has been changed from attack to support, just so he can play a little bit deeper down this left-hand side. And we'll see where it takes us. We're going to start off with a defensive mentality. Opposition instruction-wise, yeah, obviously, you know, tight marking of players like Eriksen. In fact, I'm not going to tightly mark Eriksen because we're trying to do what we... okay, that's good, because I forgot to do that. So yeah, Tiote, he had Juan Mata in his back pocket in the last game. Let's hope he's got Eriksen in his back pocket this game. Going in hard on quite a few players, showing players like Dyer, Danny Rose and Dele Alli onto their weaker feet. Eriksen can use either foot, can't he? Yes. So not much point in trying to show him onto a weaker foot. Harry Kane, either foot, yeah. Quality players. It's Spurs at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of pressing in our own half, and all we can do is try and keep hold of the ball, you know, and try and spring counter-attacks when possible, and most importantly, not make stupid mistakes like the goal that Man United scored against us. Good direct ball. Danny Graham, of course, as you can see, is starting instead of Nabil Gilas. I think Danny Graham deserves a start, to be honest. Kind of felt sorry for him. Getting quickly kind of like phase out the team just because Gilas came in, who, to be fair, got our winning goal against Fulham. But yeah, give Danny Graham a go. But anyways, Kajura, oh my god, how do you not finish that? He should have left it for Danny Graham, you know. 2 minutes in, we could have been 1-0 up at the new White Hart Lane. Ugh, so I was going to come with this corner then. Oh, just over the bar. We've got another corner. Headed out, I think that was by Dele Alli. But, yes, so far, decent start. We've always got to be careful against a team like Spurs. Got a lot of quality players, good on the counter-attack, but here we go. Can move away from defensive now. We'll go to a standard mentality and just demand more of the players. It just always seems to get a little bit more out of them. You know, you can give them a bit of a bollocking from the touchline. But given that we beat Man United, I don't think I'd really be disappointed if we lost this game, as long as it's not because we've conceded a stupid goal. But there we go. So far, packing the midfield has worked well for us. Andre Gray finds Danny Graham, the killer combo, who finds Gouffran, who scored against Man United. And Gouffran, in typical Gouffran fashion, once again loses the ball. He did that against Man United. I started having a rant, and now Lacazette is surely going to take on our left-back, whip the ball in, and Spurs are going to be 1-0 up. Dele Alli whips the ball in. Lacazette is going to cut inside and shoot. And, oh my God, we've survived that. We ain't half survived that. Okay, we could be 1-0 down right now, so it could be a lot worse. So far, though, we're still in the game. You can see the stats. We've really not performed badly. Danny Graham, stop doing that! I'm sick of players standing in the middle of the park like idiots. Here we go. Andre Gray to Akpan. Gouffran, please don't do a Gouffran. It's going to become known as a Gouffran. Okay, Kajura. Problem is because... oh, hello, Danny Graham. You alright, lads? 1-0 up against Tottenham. Let's try and see the rest of the half out. Yeah, good goal that, wasn't it? I was just going to say that we were lacking width, which is probably why, you know, players in the middle of the park, Gouffran, it sometimes seems like they hesitate because against teams like Spurs and whatnot, we're worried about getting counter-attacks, so we don't want our fullbacks to go forward, obviously. But, yeah, it looks like we're going to see things out until half-time. Wow, what a goal. I weren't expecting that, I'll tell you that. I'm saying that a lot, aren't I? But yeah, 1-0 down at half-time. Got to stay calm. I'm glad that sticking that extra man in midfield so far has worked well for us. So I'm going to assertively tell the lads, don't get complacent. Stay focused, keep your heads. And we'll see what changes Pochettino makes as well. Lacazette definitely caused us problems in the first half, as opposed to Son Heung-min. So it's kind of also a case of, well, how do we change that? I think I'll give it until the 60th minute. If Spurs ain't got an equaliser by then, we might sacrifice a striker to, you know, become a left winger, just to give Augustinsson a little bit more support down that left wing. But here we go. Dele Alli finds Eric Dyer, who, oh my God, Jesus Christ, that was close. Looks like it was offside, though, so it probably wouldn't have counted, but should probably wake the lads up. Flipping heck. Demand more. For some reason I was looking for a wake up option because I said wake him up. But yeah, let's I'll switch back to standard and lower the tempo a little bit and drop our passing style down to short. Try and keep the ball a little bit more and frustrate Spurs like we did against Man United. Our possession basically shot through the roof when we did that against Man United, as you'd probably expect it to. But here we go. Oops, hello. Right, let's just wait until after this highlight before we make any changes, because it will dictate whether we change our formation or not. But we could make it too. Danny Graham played really, really well so far today. Andre Gray leads the charge from the front, who finds the Algerian international in Kajura. Passes to Gouffran, who's doing a Gouffran again. Gouffran, for the love of God, to Tiote, who hooves the ball forward to our slower striker for some reason, but hello. Okay, win that back. What's he doing? What's going on there? Win that in the air. Tiote wins it in the air. That's one of the perks as to why we signed him. Gray finds Danny Graham. Oh! On the half volley. What a goal that could have been. Oh my God, how did he not score that? Oh my God. Right, okay. Oh, gutted. Absolutely gutted. That could have been a sick goal. Right, okay. Dick's out for Karembe is going to come on. And, yeah, tempted to... It's kind of a case of who do I take off here. I'll actually... It's a tough one, really. We'll move Gouffran actually out to the left. Andre Gray's now out on the right. Sam Byron's going to come out on the right now, because obviously he... gives us some defensive attributes which we can hopefully use to our advantage. Have we seen a formation change from Spurs yet? Nope, still on the 4-2-3-1. 10 minutes to go. Time to do what we do best, which is, of course, parking the bus. Get stuck in, be more disciplined, and yeah. Let's see if we can hold on to this lead. Time to contain. 1 minute to go. Let's just bring on another player for the lols. Bring on Nabil Gilas so that Danny Graham can get a standing ovation as he leaves the pitch. And, I wish he scored that half volley. I wish he scored that half volley. Bloody hell. But there we go. Danny Bath. You know, apparently it's not Bath because he has an Indian dad. So it's meant to be something like Bat or something like that rather than Bath. But I bet you our Indian owners are bloody over the moon. Oh, we got player of the match as well, which is nice. Starting to repay that chunky 9.5 million transfer fee that I was maybe a little bit drunk at the time. But anyways, what a win. You played well. And I'm starting to get worried with all these wins now because you can't really give them a bollocking after you win a game like this. But at the same time, you don't want them to get carried away. But yeah, so we tweaked it. We reap the rewards. We're top of the Premier League, so that's not really too bad. Whether or not we can make that spot ours, I don't think we will. We saw what happened last season when we were like floating just outside the Europa League spots, and yeah, it didn't go too well, did it, come the end of the season? But let's just keep the faith. In terms of other games we've got coming up, Norwich, Liverpool, Newcastle, Everton. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, make Liverpool the next episode. And then after that, maybe look at a cheeky double episode with both Arsenal and Chelsea. Also, another thing that's quite interesting, obviously a player who was out injured for a while was James McLean. And he's injured himself again with a bruised head. I'm not quite sure what he was playing at, but he's got a bruised head. He don't half like getting injured, does he? But yeah, obviously we're not missing him at the moment. And I think that is going to be it, really, for this episode. Tinkering and changing. Rajkovic is starting to get some games under his belt. I wonder how long it's going to be until some of these players start moaning they're not getting any games. Kind of feel sorry for players like Mulgrew and Conway and stuff, but well, that's football for you. But until next time, I've been Kyanite. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below. See you next time.